Hey guys, True Grit Scott, both of BLUESAWS.com. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody's doing all right. I am working on 361 carbs for the G366. These are the 44 mod carbs that I make for the 361, 366 is with the bigger barrel. I figured I'd show you a couple little things on it. I'm tired. It's late. It's I don't know, 9 o'clock, and it's been a long day. Just got done with some 660 pre-runs, and I open up the first box, there's a problem. Open up the second box, there's a problem. Open up the third box, there's a problem. So 3 for 3 on 660s from Farmer Tech that all had problems, and the problem on these, well, I worked through one of them. The other two I have to look at better. Is the brake handles are jammed down and hung up over the muffler, and I've seen that before. Usually you could pop it off, no harm, no foul. The odd thing is none of the boxes had damage, so I think that this was done before they were shipped, and how this happened I don't know, because they were jammed over the muffler real hard to the point where it actually chipped the brake, and it was hung up pretty bad to get off. I actually took the bolt out on the side so I could pop them off, and the plastic was chipped up, and I cleaned up the plastic, and it just sucks on a new saw. It's not a big deal. I'm sure you guys would figure it out if you got one with the chain brake jammed down, but I don't know if this is a Farmer Tech thing. I'm going to have to look around and see if other people are seeing this. It's just frustrating on a new saw that I already have a little chip. I know it's not a big deal. It's a little chip out of the chain brake, means nothing, but come on, guys. You did this at the factory before you sent it out. Anyhow, I'm not going to talk about tariffs because I sure as hell don't know what's going on. And believe it or not, I'm not a geopolitical expert as to what's good, what's bad. I know it's going to be a pain in my ass. Good thing, bad thing. I hope it's going to be a good thing eventually, but I don't know. Anyhow, so that was my thing on those 660s. That not a big deal, just frustrating. So I already drilled out the impulse on these 44 bodies, and that's a pretty easy thing. I should have videoed it for you, but you probably wouldn't be that interested, and I don't even know what size bit I used. I actually used a little bit bigger of a bit this time. I tried using a smaller bit, and it gave me a problem, so I'm going to measure this real quick and tell you what size I'm using at the moment. 2.8 millimeter. All right, well, that's stay. Can I get it off of there? Let me move it back to where it was. 0.1135 or 2.8, whatever I said. Anyhow, drill those out real quick. That's not the biggest deal in the world. I'll tell you what, if you mess up the hole, it can cause you some problems though, so be super careful when you do it. It's easy to ruin carbs. Ask me how I know. So the next thing I got to do is the choke rods. When you switch the choke rods, I'm using the choke rods, obviously, both rods, both the throttle and the choke from the original 366 carbs, so your linkage and everything works fine. If you don't, your choke won't work right and your linkage won't fit. And granted, you could heat up and bend some wires and make it work, but I'm trying to keep it so it's stock. So in doing that, I swap out both rods, and in doing the choke rods, and I'm going to pull you in here as I do this. Actually, I'm going to pause you and pull you in. Okay, guys, I'm hugging the tripod to do this, so maybe this will work for me. Here's the 44 choke rod, and here's the 366 choke rod. And if you look, and God, I'm going to have to bring this up closer. The butterfly is obviously bigger on the 44 rod. So this space here is going to be a lot wider than it is for the butterfly on the 366. And if you look, I'll try to, that left side I have halfway even. You could see how much longer that is compared to the other one. So you got to take out that material there. The way I do it is I take my handy dandy calipers and I'll measure, well, it doesn't matter which way you do it. if you take this and you try to get them in there, I'm hugging this camera and it's hard for me to do this. Oh, Jesus, I can't do it because I can't see what I'm doing. All right, I got that in there, more or less. I'm going to put it on millimeters so I could see. Woo, that looks huge. Anyhow, I'm going to zero that out. I don't need that number. Then I'll take the measurement on here, which will be the difference between the two of them. So I don't know if you can see that, but I got 4 millimeters. It means I got to take out about 2 millimeters per side. So I'll dial this back. Well, I got to hit 0 again. Try to get it to 2 millimeters. We're pretty darn close. I like it a little tiny bit above just to give me some wiggle room with my lines. And then I'll lock them down. Then you could actually shut them off. And what I do from there is I'll take the 361 rod and I'll use the calipers to scribe my line where I have to grind to. I use a file to do it. They're brass. They cut pretty easy. So I know you're not going to be able to see those lines because I struggle to see the little lines that I make too. And I'll just file down, and you got to keep flat with the back so your butterfly will lay flat. And that's pretty much how I do that part. I don't think there's anything else interesting in that. The next part will just be swapping everything on. As I do this, maybe I'll make another video. You got to make sure the butterflies are not round. They look round. They really look round, but they're not round. So they have to fit in there a real certain way. Which one is this? That one fits there. It's too small for there. Okay, so it was there. How can I show you guys this? I don't know if I can. This will fit in certain ways, and certain ways it won't. And you have to... Bottom line is you got to make sure you got it in there the right way when you put it on here. I also use Loctite on the screw that holds it in. I've seen a lot of them looser than I want, and I'm always scared about losing a screw and ingesting it through the saw, which could happen. So I use Loctite on them. I'm going to pause this. Okay, guys, that's in a nutshell for doing the rods for your butterflies. The other one, the throttle rod, depending on your donor carb, you may or may not have to do the same thing. The HLIC donor carbs, you generally don't. Although I swear I've had a few where I did. And it depends on the rod that they put in it. Because some of the rods that they use for the throttle, and this is a no-name one. Got it in a batch and I just didn't take this one apart yet. You'll have to do the same thing on those rods. I'm tired, guys, so bear with me if I sound like I'm not with it, because I'm not tired. So that's throttle rods. Keep all your parts. Keep your little E-clips. Make sure you keep everything to put them back together. Then we're going to be putting on the compensator, the bottom plate, everything else on. There's not a lot to this process. It's a pain in the neck. You can mess it up real easy, and it takes a little bit. But once you get it, you get it. I'll also caution you, when you're tightening the screws to hold the butterflies into these brass rods, be real careful. It's brass, it strips real easy. I guess that's the worst part of it. If you mess up on your drilling or your rod or you strip it, there's a bunch of ways to ruin a carb real quick, and it's a pain in the neck because then you're buying another donor carb. Anyhow, guys, I don't think I'm going to do too much more here tonight. I might mark out all of those rods, and then I'll file them. Actually, I could probably file them. That's pretty brain dead work. Maybe I'll do that tonight and then call it a night. Anyhow, True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws, and BLUESAWS.com. Thanks for watching, and stay safe, fellas.